Hello and welcome back to this look into GMGOW difficulty. This is our 6th and final episode in this little series. And here we are in Alfheim where we left off last time. Kratos, if you remember, is a high level 2. This is gonna be sort of a short one. We're just gonna explore a little bit, do some optional stuff, and then push on to the main path, go into the central area, and just push a little ways, and then I think that'll be a good place to sort of wrap things up here. Here we're going to face some Dark Elves for the first time. Dark Elves can be a handful, especially in GMGOW mode. A lot of players have trouble with these guys. They behave a little unusually. They, maybe more than any other enemies, just love to like spread out and flank you, and like here, they'll fire these light bombs in your path while you're juggling them, or they'll do this big sweeping attack where they come in and swing their trident at you, and they can cover a lot of ground with that attack. They can do it from pretty far away. These took a light bomb in the face there, and use Rage Burst to clear out the blindness status. But yeah, if you sort of spend too long on any one enemy, other Dark Elves will try to flank you. They'll try to interrupt your attacks. They also can recover if you launch them too high. So like your normal R2 launcher, if you use that on them, they'll sort of just do a little somersault and escape from your combo and like fly behind you and get away. So certain moves are no longer effective against them. So all these things combined together can make them quite a tricky enemy when you're not used to them. But we're going to find some ways of returning the favor, of spoiling their fun, instead of the other way around. So here we've met up with Sindri again, and we're going to use that frozen flame we found after the last ogre fight. And we've just upgraded our axe to level 3, and if you look over on the right, Kratos is also level 3. So, yay! This is great. Here we've just unlocked all of our level 3 axe skills, and we can actually buy most of them now because of all the side stuff we've been doing. We have tons of XP, so we're going to get everything here except this one, Hunter Killer, that we'll just put on the to-do list. And as I said, we're going to sort of do a mini version here of what we did at the Lake of Nine. Namely, we're going to do the 2 sort of optional side areas as much as we can, and then we'll go into the central temple and proceed on the main storyline. So looking at the temple here, to the right is the first place we'll go. It's called Light Elf Sanctuary.
We must proceed on foot.
This is guarded by a couple Tesla worms and some projectile draugr out here. These Tesla worms, they'll do a little explosion if you sort of hang out near them for too long and just do normal attacks. But if you can sort of get them up in the air, they don't really have a chance to do it. That sort of negates that. That's sort of one of their main threats, is that explosion. This Light Elf Sanctuary is where we'll eventually find the Amulet of Kvasir, which is a very good talisman. And I talk about it more in the tips video that there's a link to in the description here. So here we have, I think, more Tesla worms. As we see here, this guy never had a chance to do much to us. We were able to keep him in the air for most of that. And there we see, remember to use the Horn of Heimdall active talisman ability, a big shield gong, which kind of rules. Wish I remembered to use those things more often. And here's a Realm Terror. a 3 and 4 elite draugrs, and we're level 3, so this should be no big deal. This is like markedly easier than the first realm tear we faced back at the Lake of Nine, the scene of my first death, which had those 2 level 6 elite heavy draugrs. I think by the time they get out of Alfheim, Kratos and Atreus probably have a much easier time with that realm tear. So that's on their to-do list. Here, I think I'm inadvertently doing that parry counter slam. Nice, another Heimdall gong. I'd like to see that. Good job, Kratos. As I was saying, inadvertently doing that parry counter slam. I think once you have that unlocked, it can be tricky to get out Executioner's Cleave right after a parry. You kind of have to wait a beat before holding down R2, otherwise that parry counter hit will come up. Here we're gonna, thanks to our upgraded permafrost, we're actually gonna, I think, end up frosting. Yeah, he's frosted now. I have a hard time with these guys sometimes when they're frosted like this because I'm so used to their normal dodge timing that when they get slowed down it just totally throws off my rhythm and I don't quite know when to dodge. They like sort of counterintuitively can become, for me, like more dangerous when they're frosted sometimes, those heavy draugrs. So here in this chest is the Amulet of Kvasir. And we're not actually going to equip it just yet. I think you can see here, I put it on briefly, yeah, and you can see on the right, my level went down to 2. So we're going to stick with Heimdall for now and stay level 3. But Kratos has Kvasir packed away in the back pocket, ready to go. And I think before they leave Alfheim, you can get it leveled up pretty high, like almost maxed out. And it comes in quite handy, especially on the sort of dark elf king guy that runs this place. Here we snuck over here and we're getting rid of these nightmares. They're on this second optional island. There are these guys, and there's like a heavy draugr and a bunch of Tesla worms. And you can, if you go charging in, you can easily sort of aggro everyone all at once, and it's quite a scene. It's a little easier if you can sneak over here and get rid of these nightmares on their own before alerting these other guys to your presence. Here we can see our newly upgraded level 3 precision throw explosion is doing pretty good damage on this guy. It's like at almost half health already, just from some few axe throws. Oh, Kratos, you're spoiling me. I love it when you remember to use those Heimdall gongs. More Tesla worms. There, I think I chickened out. I thought he was maybe going to explode on me. That heavy combo finisher seems... No, it's not the Heimdall gong. That's a normal shield gong. Also great. All gongs are welcome here. The more gongs, the better. As I've seen that... I think that... Oh, there's their evasive explosion. He caught me slipping. I was like waiting for a stance change, I think. And he caught me. As I was saying, that heavy 4-hit combo finisher is pretty effective on these Tesla worms as well. Should probably do that more often. That'll bounce them in the air and does plenty of damage. They're also, as you see, pretty susceptible to being frozen. A little bit like wolves. So that's another effective, sort of safe way of handling those guys. So that's all for the optional areas. We'll have to come back later when we get a few new abilities, but for now, that's all we can do. And now we're on to the main temple. and take advantage of that ledge. Here we're doing a little shield combat. These guys they're pretty weak to stun, so shield combat can be really effective, especially this leaping shield bash stance change attack, Guardian's Fury, which I talk about in the tips video. Really effective against these guys. We're using it a lot here. Some would say abusing it. It just, it knocks them back, similar to the baseball swing. It covers a bunch of ground, which can help deal with their mobility. It gives you a bunch of iframes, so you don't really have to worry about, like, these light bombs. I just did it right through those. Or being flanked while you're doing it. Yeah, during the leap, you just can't really be touched. And then once you stun a guy, you get this chance to skewer him on his own spear, and like a split second to redirect the. Oh, we love it. We love the shield on. Keep it up, Kratos. You have a second to like redirect the throw, and if you get lucky, like I did here a few times, you hit another enemy and just immediately send them flying, and they land on their face. So you can kind of sometimes parlay a stun grab into a knockdown, into a stun grab, into a knockdown, and just sort of chain brutal murders together, like a serial, like you're some sort of person that kills people in serial. There should be a name for that. It's pretty dark. Here's second wave, and we're gonna use the axe on these guys. We're eyeing that ledge, and here's pretty good baseball swing. Not as good as the greatest one ever, but we did seem to hit them hard enough to knock one of them through the geometry there. And here's a little cheeky ring out. So 3 quick ring outs there. Shield combat and stun grabs and trips and ring outs are all pretty effective against these guys. Trace even says, hey, we can trip these guys. Like in his little monster manual, he writes down, like, we can trip them.
That can't be good.
And sometimes they have their guard up, and you can't trip them, but you can sort of tell when that's happening. They'll have their trident raised. Alfheim is just lousy with these ledges. Like, this massive, conspicuous ledge sort of dominating our view here. That's sort of, I think, giving us a little hint on things we can do to get through these guys quickly. We basically, to fight Dark Elves really effectively, you just want to fight. It's super dirty. You just, like, showing just no sportsmanship. We're just tripping them and knocking them off ledges and punching them in the back of the head. Like, I don't know how many. That's like, here's another ring out coming. How many is that? Like, have I killed? I think I killed maybe one by wearing down his health with combos, but for the most part, you just fight completely nasty, and you'll be okay against these guys. Here, this guy's stunned, but there's no grab prompt, so I'm like frantically clicking in the stick to no avail. Then he hits me, which is a little embarrassing. A lone draugr gets a piece of me. Not in great shape here. Health's pretty low. I think I was playing pretty loose here. Feeling pretty good. A little overconfident maybe. But that's okay. When was the last time overconfidence caused any problems for a Greek hero? Here again we have this giant ledge to take advantage of. And that heavy draugr caught me there, clipped me. So we're switching over to shield combat. Sometimes that can feel a little safer, oddly, just because you can sort of spam agile strike here and Guardian's Fury, like I did there for the ring out. Just this guy's left now. This is a level 2 heavy draugr, a green bar level 2. Like, we're level 3, remember? We outrank this guy. So this is pretty unusual. Look at those hit reactions. Like, we bounced him. We're air juggling him, and he's frosted. Like, this is not. That is the first time this has happened in this game. That was a heavy. So this sort of, I think, marks a turning point in our play here. we are just now sort of beginning to flirt with out-leveling the main story. It is not a permanent condition. There's plenty of tough fights ahead in the main story and elsewhere. But that this is starting to happen suggests sort of the value of all the side stuff we've done. And we're going to take this opportunity to part ways with Kratos and Atreus and to wish them well. We know they're going to succeed. You know, they've got tough fights ahead of them, but we've been through a bunch of tough fights. You know, we've been through some tight scrapes, some made extra tight by questionable play on my part here and there. But, you know, that's not important. We got through it. That's the important thing. And we did it with a lot less resources than they have available to them now. You know, they've got all of their shield combat unlocked. They've got axe stuff up to level 3. They've got so many different runic attacks that they can start using for different situations. They've got an extra rage bar for, you know, for like quick ring outs and clearing status or just raging. They're in great shape here. They've got the grip of Tangyost and Kvasser ready to go as soon as they can upgrade those. They're going to be just fine without us. So we'll say goodbye, Kratos. Goodbye, Atreus. You know, it's been a pleasure. Kratos, please try to keep remembering to use those active talisman abilities and try to remember to launch more enemies into other enemies to frost everyone. And more importantly, like, try to be more demonstrative in your affection towards your son, man. Like, you know, call him sweetheart once in a while, man. Maybe Atreus is not quite the right age for sweetheart right now. He'd probably hate it, but you know, do it anyway, man. Anyway, I hope you, the viewer, have enjoyed this little sort of jackass's look into GMGOW and God of War combat. Hopefully you picked up on a few things you might try in your own play. Along with that, hopefully you've had a laugh or two, laughing with me or at me. I'm not picky. Either way is fine. As for me, I've never done this before. Shocking, right? Yeah, but I had a lot of fun doing it. It's so embarrassingly dorky, you know, recording yourself talking over your video of your own playing a video game. But that, in spite of that, it's or maybe because of it, it's quite fun, turns out. And also, I got to figure out what some of the buttons do in Share Factory Studio to edit these. So obviously, I have a promising career as a feature-length movie editor ahead of me. Hollywood, if you need a hand with your movies, just send them to me in chunks no bigger than 1 hour each. That's the max length that Share Factory can handle at any one time for projects. Anyway, like I said, I had fun doing these, and I don't know. Maybe I'll make some Ragnarok videos sometime. If this series is any indication, yeah, you can look forward to, you know, coming soon. My first Ragnarok video in 2026 or 2027. You know, like 4 or 5 years after that game launches in about a month from now. Until then, signing off, and thanks for watching, and see you then. Bye bye.